Holy smoke, 100. Can't believe it's 100. 100 Tuesdays on the trot for this vlog. So that is not the 2-year anniversary. 2-year anniversary is going to be the 104 vlog. So that will be like my second birthday on here. But I couldn't let it go past the 100th episode without some sort of celebration. So yeah, 100. Who would have thought it? Anyway, last week I left you at the very tail end of my trip with Johanna. And I do believe I left you in a hot tub with a plastic mug of Prosecco. Not a bad place to leave off. Anyway, let's continue. Morning! We are at Johanna's Garden Centre. Well, luckily for me, I'm here and unable to buy anything because I'm actually on my way to Wisley. So obviously, continuing from last week, this is a continuation episode. I'm still not home yet. I was staying at Johanna's last night and she had work this morning, obviously, so we are here. And then I'm going to get the bus. Do you remember the bus I got last time? It was amazing, like straight from Kingston to here. Anyway, I'm going to get that one back because it stopped at Wisley. I'm going to get out at Wisley and I'm going to be mum. So we're going to go and have a look around Wisley. But I do have all of my stuff with me from the last week. So I am not going to be adding any plants to it. I have already looked at the seed selection and wondered if I can just stick a couple down the side of the suitcase. But you know what, I'm not going to. I am not going to. I'm going to leave a garden centre having bought nothing. Are you impressed? I'm impressed. Wait till I've left and see if it's actually happened. Right, let me show you. They have got some really lovely things here though, but luckily they're mostly in pots and I can't carry them. So I'm going to have a look around. Let me show you. It's absolutely bursting at the seams. Look at all that. Look at the 100 pittosporums and all sorts here. Absolutely loads. It's looking really lush. I think it's even fuller than it was last time I was here, actually. Down that end, we've got new things. Look at this. They've all just come in. Aren't they gorgeous? I love this when it's just like acres and acres of tiny plants. You get really overexcited about it. I tell you what, one thing I don't need is any more Lychnis. This is what I've been transferring masses of at the allotment. It's a self-seeding nightmare. Yeah, look at all this. We've got Tanasetums and just a riot of pinks and yellow. Oh God, I'm so excited for spring and summer. Let's go see what Johanna's doing. Actually, she is doing, because you know she took over the Instagram for Ripley Nurseries. That's what she's doing at the moment. Composing something for the Instagram. I guess it's about time, because that's what she's standing next to. We've got peonies down here. They've got the classic Sarah Bernhardt. I used to get called Sarah Bernhardt when I was being melodramatic as a child. So it's got a soft spot. Yep, loads and loads of stuff, and I can't have any of it. So yeah, I'm heading to Wisley after this. I don't know if you know Wisley, RHS Gardens Wisley. It's gorgeous. I don't think we'll be doing a huge amount of looking around because obviously Mum's not incredibly mobile at the moment. She's still using a stick, but she hasn't been there since they changed the frontage of the area. So we wanted to just have a quick look around, and I'm going to take her to lunch because there's a really lovely pub on the canal just up the road from there. So that is the plan. So I'm going to go get the bus, but have a look at the colours of these. Just as I was leaving, look at this. Joy. Well, we made it to Wisley. Now I need a cup of coffee. I also need to find a good spot to sit because I haven't actually finished editing the video that's supposed to go out tonight for Patreons. So I'm going to find myself somewhere to sit and finish editing that and wait for Mum. Well, that was fairly successful, all sorted, and bonus, look who I found. Da, 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 da. Like I said, we're not going to be doing a huge look around Wisley. It's absolutely massive. We're just going to have a bit of a stroll at this front area. Look at this Edgeworther, isn't that gorgeous? I love the way it just looks like they've been stuck on. It doesn't look even remotely natural, does it? But the scent is incredible. So the bit that we're going to go and have a look at is the trial gardens. And to be honest, I don't think there's going to be much going on in there at the moment because it's a bit early. If they've got anything, there'll be some spring bulbs, but it's easily accessible. And this whole area, like in the summer, particularly when they used to, I don't know if they still do them, they used to do dahlia trials here, and this whole area just full of dahlias. Looks absolutely incredible. God, I tell you what, when I just look out over a space like this, I can't tell you how much I would love just a piece of land like this. Never mind the rest of the garden, just this would be amazing. I love this. Look, these are tulips. I don't know what kind of pest they've got here, but it's obviously not squirrels because an electric fence wouldn't stop a squirrel. Not one that low, anyway. I haven't.
Obviously, I did liver and bacon. You missed that one.
Oh, thank goodness. I always know that one. The moment I'm out of the house, out comes the liver and bacon.
I didn't buy a lot though. It was about 68 pence or something, so there wasn't very much.
So Dad wasn't eating it for breakfast for the next week?
No, we had it for breakfast one day, that was it, and then it was gone.
Okay, enough of this. I think it's time to go for some lunch. Okay, well, I'm not hugely successful. This is where we're supposed to be going. It's gorgeous and the food is fantastic, but it's closed. It is closed for renovation, so that wasn't a very successful plan, was it? Not very successful. Okay, well, lunch was a complete fail. So we're just going to head home. We're going home. I'm quite looking forward to it, actually. I haven't been home for just more than a week. So we got seedlings to catch up on, cat news to catch up on, all of that kind of stuff. Wonder how big the chilies have got. And the peas. Sowed the peas before we left, didn't we? Home! Okay, let's go and have a look at what's happened to chilies, peas, cucumbers, because they were getting huge before we left. Hello, my darlings. Hello. Look at you with all your leaves. Right, these are the chilies. Still look quite small, but I'm going to put a piece of footage in of what they looked like before I left because they've actually grown loads. Have a look at this. So this is just before I left. Look at that. Completely different. This is 1 week ago. They're growing like rockets. Yeah, lovely. Got a couple of aubergines at the back there. These are the cucumbers that are triffids. Really excited about that. Look at this baby cucumber. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. A couple of more bits and pieces in there. I really need to pot this stuff up. There's some basil in there. Yeah, need to get on it really. Added to that, I'm going to get the cold shoulder for a couple of days. You know what cats are like. Peas, they're up. They're not as far along as I thought they were going to be, but it turns out that I didn't water them when I left because, you know, I did them in a real rush and nobody else watered them either. So they've actually only just been watered. This is like 3 days of growth rather than a week of growth. Chitting potatoes coming on nicely. We've got some good chits in there. Looking gorgeous. Don't knock it off, Jessie. Beautiful. They'll be going in soon. Leeks, I'll leave them in this pot for really quite a long time before I plant them out, so they're all right to just stay like that. Actually, the peas in one gutter's way ahead of the others. What variety did I put in which? So the really fast ones, okay, Hurst Green Shaft are way ahead of the Sugar Bonds. But yeah. And also in here are my chilies that I'm trying to overwinter, and they're looking all right, but I do need to sort them out. Well, I've actually just got back in time. So it is, what day is it today? Monday. Is it Monday? I've completely lost track of when it is. No, it's Tuesday. No, Monday. No, I was editing the vlog this morning. So yeah, it's Monday. Yeah, so it is Monday and tomorrow, so we've been waiting for an order from the compost company. Do you remember, for those of you who've been watching for like more than a year, last year when we tried to order the manure, God, I sound like I'm getting a cold. Yeah, so last year, about this sort of time, we ordered the manure to be delivered. We normally get like 20 bags or something delivered at this sort of time of year. And we found out there was a 10-week waiting time because obviously everybody went mad for growing last year. So that was a bit mental. And then we had to wait. I think it was like, must have been like the beginning of May that we ended up getting it. Anyway, we ordered some just before I left and they rang yesterday to say they're coming tomorrow morning. The way our allotment is situated, there's no way. God, I really do sound like I'm getting a cold. Sorry. What was I saying? Yes, so you can just, some stables around here, you can just go and pick up horse manure. But I don't know if you remember last time when I did like the big video of us having the delivery, is that actually there's no access to our site. So there's 2 entrances to the site, but you can't actually get a vehicle up either entrance. So you have to walk it for miles, and we can't just have a big dump of horse manure at either end because one of them's in a working cemetery. Not ideal, and the other one is out on the main road, just left there, so we can't really do that. So bagged is the only option. I have had a bit of a look at the weather. It doesn't look great. But yeah, so that's going to be my morning. Anyway, home, fantastic. Chilies are looking great, cucumbers are looking great, peas are off. Yeah, so we'll be getting them in the next couple of weeks. Morning, first morning back on the allotment, and we've got off to a doozy. We just had 60 bags of horse manure delivered. It was meant to be 80-litre bags, but they'd run out of 80-litre bags, so they've given us the 100-litre bags. Pretty good, but it does mean that between 3 of us we've just moved 60 bags, and unfortunately most of them, so like 27 of them, were mine. And I don't know if you remember last year, it's such a walk, like from where they get delivered here in the graveyard, and then we walk them back to the allotment. But it's about a 3-minute walk, maybe longer, to get to the allotment, and it's all like lumpy bumpy, and the ground is just so it's raining, as you can see. Yeah, this is a great look. Yeah, it's raining and the ground is so slippery, so I'm walking like John Wayne with a wheelbarrow, and it's just yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, this is my last load. I've only got 1 bag now. We've been doing 2 bags in a wheelbarrow, and this is the last bag, and I am so looking forward to some breakfast. Right, okay, last push. I am home and I am dry. That was weird. Just looking at that footage of me walking with that wheelbarrow, that jumper I was wearing did actually fit when I started the day. Obviously it was really hot wheeling the compost around, so I took my coat off, and it was raining for the entire time that we were moving the compost. Obviously the moment we finished moving the compost, it completely stopped raining, but you know, that's by the by. But it was raining that whole time, and that jumper has just absorbed. It was so heavy by the end. It was like this enormous, like, amorphous blob on me. Oh, good look, that, wasn't it? I'm so glad we got that done this morning. One of the advantages of having it delivered to the cemetery where you have to move it pretty pronto, because obviously you can't be having like people wheeling wheelbarrows of horse manure in and out when people are either trying to have a funeral or they're visiting graves or something. So you do really have to just get up there, get it done first thing in the morning, and no matter the weather, obviously, as you've seen, but it's done. It's great. We have got the manure for spring. Excellent. I'm wearing that fluorescent jumper that I found in the charity shop at Johanna's, which is probably why the lighting looks a bit weird in here, because it's so bright it kind of throws the camera off. Very subtle number, this one. Anyway, what I'm planning to do this afternoon is pot up those cucumbers, because they've grown so much in the week that I've been away. Have a look at them. This is the two of them, and look at that. We got the cucumbers. I'm going to put them up into this sort of size pot, so not enormous. This wouldn't be their end pot, but I'm going to put them into this one as an intermediate. You know, we started these as the Bob Flower Dew experiment, and I'm really pleased with them so far. I have no idea what's going to happen to them. I had loads of messages from people who were like, oh, I'm also going to be doing an early cucumber and see what happens. So, I mean, are yours looking the same as this? Like, because if they are, I mean, I think this is quite a good start, because they're going to stay inside, like in the warm part of the house for another couple of weeks. Well, I suppose it depends on the weather, doesn't it, really? If we have another April like we did last year, which was absolutely diabolical, I don't know what we're going to do. But for the moment, they're staying in here, and then they're going to move just out into the conservatory, you know, so it's not heated, but it's also not really cold like a greenhouse. And we'll see what happens. We might get cucumbers like at the end of March, which would just be, well, it'd be pretty amazing, really, wouldn't it? And Bob Flower Dew would have been proved right. We have potted up cucumbers. How exciting. Right, that's it for me today. Tomorrow morning though, I've got something quite exciting to do. I am going up to town and I'm buying myself a present. I'm buying myself a treat for 100 consecutive Tuesdays. So I'll see you then. Where I'm going, I've wanted to go ever since they opened the shop here. I'm quite excited about having a look around. Okay, Chiltern Street. So last time I was up here, this shop wasn't open because they only opened in September. But I've been meaning to come up since then, and I figure 100th episode, I'm going to buy myself a present. And there's the shop. The glorious Niwaki, complete with cloud pruned tree out the front, I'm pleased to say. But yeah, Niwaki, the most beautiful tools. And flower displays by the looks of it. Okay, and this, chaps, this is what we're here for. I'm going to buy myself a Hori Hori. which is a Japanese trowel slash knife slash kind of all-purpose gardening tool. I think this is the one I'm going to go for. The little one next to it, like the baby version, I was going to go for that, but I think it's going to be this one. The decision is between this one and this one. I mean, there's pros and cons to both. There really is. God, it's so difficult. I mean, I'm here for the Hori Hori, but just have a look at these, because every time I see Niwaki at any shows or anything, you could just spend days staring at their secateurs. They are so beautiful. One day I will own a pair of Niwaki secateurs, I'm telling you. Okay, back to the Hori Horis. I went for the stainless steel one because I really wanted that serrated edge. I am so happy. I got Hori Hori! Yeah, I'm well excited about that. It's funny because I really did think I was going to get the little tiny one, but it ended up being a lot smaller, like in the flesh. Then hang on, I'm going to get run over. There we go. Yeah, it was much smaller when I actually saw it than kind of when I was looking at the numbers on the website. So yeah, exciting. Now I'm going to go and meet Sarah and get some lunch, celebratory lunch. Good morning. You know what I was saying the other day about not being able to have manure delivered? Well, somebody appears to have had some delivered, like right in the centre of the path. You can certainly smell that, I can tell you. It's a bit fresh. Whew. Not including moving all that manure in the rain. This is my first day back on the allotment and it's an absolute beauty. Blue sky, well, kind of patchy blue sky, but I'm going with the blue bit. Girlies are really good. They are very chatty. I'm going to probably put them in the fruit cage in a minute. Loads to do. I've got pea canes to kind of, you know, the peas that we put under the, oh, it's bright. Pea canes we put under the EnviroMesh. I'm going to make the pea cane support things for them today. We're going to clear one of the beds, which has got some old turnips which sort of didn't do anything from last year. There's a bit of soggy rotten fennel in there, nice. And also there's the parsnips in that bed, so we're going to kind of clear that bed, get some manure on there. Same with the bed that's got the tree cabbage in where the phacelia is. Going to kind of dig that in and cover that in manure. Just loads of stuff to do. It's really exciting. Still got quite a bit to do up at the compost area, like I haven't kind of moved the compost over again, so I might get on with that. Oh, loads. But two really exciting things. Firstly, I'm going to test out the Hori Hori. Exciting. And also on my way back yesterday on the tube at Hammersmith tube station, they've got a hotel chocolat. So I might have bought myself and mum some chocolate. So it's going to be a mix of, you know, chocolate, digging knives, horse crap. My kind of day. Actually, just being away for a week, so much has changed. I'm going to take you on a little bit of a mini tour as well, because you know some of those bulbs that I planted just can't have been more than 2 weeks ago that we planted in this bed outside the shed. They're up and flowering. Let's just go and have a quick whiz because there's some exciting stuff around. Bed outside the shed, First of all, the Arctic bells are still going, but look, they're so low. We've had so much rain. They're just covered in mud, poor little things. One of the white hyacinths is showing. That smells incredible. But this, look at this. It's one of those little ornithogalum that I planted. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. What was it? It can't have been more than 2 weeks ago that I planted them. Look at them. That's these chaps. Do you remember these? The ones we bought was like complete bargain because they should have been planted in the autumn. They were like £1. Blue hyacinths are also up. You can see, I mean, these have spread so much, they've naturalised and their shape has changed quite a bit. You know how normally they're really, really dense? This one's really sparse. You get like fewer bells on them. They've spread and kind of done their own thing. I just love them like this. I think they're kind of just so much more delicate. So you can see, like, we only put a couple in here and they've just spread everywhere, and they would have originally been like this, like really dense. And then the ones that have naturalised are like this, so they'll come up with only a few bells on them and they're just really pretty. Purple sprouting broccoli is looking good. Very excited about that. Mum and Dad have been eating this while I've been away, but I've missed out, so I'm going to have some of that this week. But it looks gorgeous. Something else that's looking pretty good in this bed actually is the cabbage tree that I moved from the top. It looked really, really sad for a while, but it has got new growth on it, so it's taken. So I think that gamble has actually paid off. I think it's going to be fine. Okay, quick look at the garlic. This is my Ducot from Eli and Kate. Beautiful red colour at the bottom. And this was the other one, the Casablanca, which is not red, unsurprisingly from the name. A white one. I'm really happy with how all the garlic's going so far, actually. But this, you know how much I love this tree. And while I've been away, look, the blossom has come out. Oh my God, so beautiful. I could stare at this all day. I just think it's gorgeous. And we've got a couple of sunny days coming up, so I'm hoping the bees are going to get to work and it's not going to be me with a paintbrush this year. That is my hope. Underneath, we have got daffs. Nothing's really out here, but under the fig next door, we've got these beautiful chaps. I love how long their trumpets are. They're just gorgeous. So we've got those which are quite tall, and then these little chaps. These are supposed to be tete-a-tetes, but they've only got one head on each, which is a bit weird. It's a bit weird, isn't it, Lily? A tete-a-tete with only one tet. I know. Did you miss me? No, not in the slightest, madam. I tell you what, girlies, you probably missed me, didn't you? Because you haven't been up to the fruit cage all week, girls. Fancy it? Yeah, that's exciting, isn't it? Is that nice? Right, I'm going to go and get on with something, girlies. First job for this afternoon is I'm going to clear this bottom bed. This is the lowest bed next to the greenhouse. And we have got turnips, beetroot and fennel in here that hasn't really done very much. And by not very much, I mean practically nothing. They went in really late last year. The first lot of beetroot I put in did fine. This was the second lot, did nothing. And it's just going really woody now, so that's not going to happen. The turnips at the end, they never formed turnips, but we've been using them as turnip tops for the girlies, but they're over now. So I'm going to take them out. There's also some fennel, which didn't heart up very well. I'm going to take that out and just use it to make some stock. But, chaps, it's time for the Hori Hori. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the Niwaki S-type Hori Hori. New to plot 37. It is the perfect combination between trowel and knife. Perfect for weeding, planting, digging stuff out, slicing through roots. It has all the mod cons. Right, let's test drive. I'm just going to hoe in the phacelia on the other side. But the tree cabbages, you know, they got really beaten around during the last storm. I'm going to put some bigger posts in there for them. I have them anchored with those metal canes, which is really good. They're not going to move around at the base, but they're really swinging at the top after kind of losing their structure. Not that they had a great deal of structure before, but they've lost a lot of their structure. So I'm going to put in some of the canes that I had for the outdoor tomatoes last year. Stick them in there just so I can hold them up at the top a little bit better. Okay, well that's definitely an improvement. Because these are a perennial brassica, they're going to be in this spot for about 6 or 7 years or so. This is their second year here, and they've had a huge growth spurt and then been battered by the wind. So I'm just going to put these posts in, and that should hold them a bit straighter and keep them going for longer. Right, let's go and see what those girlies are up to. Hey, are you ready to come back down, girls? I think you might be, and I've got a treat for you. Come on then, let's do magic flash again and get you back down into the house. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, boom! Right, let me get you something green. So I'm manuring these 2 beds, the one that I've just cleared the veg out of and this one with the tree cabbages in. But this has got the phacelia in it. Do you remember that I had a bit of a nightmare when I sowed it and then I ended up chucking masses on here? Well, I don't normally give this to the girlies, but they go mad for it. And this is their last chance to get any because I'm about to cover this up with manure. So I'll just give them a couple of these little tufts. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. And then I'm going to spread some horse poo around. I just realised I was supposed to be using up the last of the bags from last time on these beds. That was part of the reason for me doing it rather than using the new stuff. Well done, Jessie. That has got to be one of the most satisfying jobs, when you just cover a bed in like fresh mulch with whatever, and it just looks so crisp, and I start getting really excited about spring. But while I'm still messing around with these tree cabbages, I've just noticed that they've started to sprout. Now, I love the tree cabbage sprouts. I just think they are the most delicious thing. They are so sweet and so lovely. Think of them a bit like a purple sprouting broccoli, that kind of thing. But when you're dealing with any of the perennial brassicas, and I think I'm right in saying this is the same across the board, so even things like Taunton Dean kale, if you see them sprout, you've got to take the flower heads off. So every time they have a flush of flowers, which is normally about this time every year, you just harvest them. Don't think of it as like a chore, you know, oh, you've got to get rid of them or anything. They are a crop in their own right, and they are absolutely delicious. But you do have to be quite vigilant in making sure that you take all of them off. But anyway, this is something I really look forward to every year as a crop. And it's an absolute bonus, because these are not necessarily what you're growing them for. I just think it's just an added joy of a tree cabbage. I get asked a lot where you get the seeds for the tree cabbages from, and I particularly get asked in America, and I genuinely don't know. This is a variety called Paul and Becky's Asturian cabbage trees, and I get the seed from real seed. But to be honest, once you have the plants growing, you don't necessarily need any more seed, because you can just keep growing them from that point, and you can take cuttings and that sort of thing. But they are the most wonderful veg. Successful day. God, it feels really good to be back. I had such a lovely time when I was away, but at the same time, coming back here and getting on with things is just a great feeling. Right, I think we need a glass of wine. We need one of them. We do. Let's go home. Boy, are those sprouts good. Just really, really good. They don't need anything else. But, chaps, the end of episode 100. 100 consecutive Tuesdays of these videos. If you had told me that 100 Tuesdays ago, I would probably never have even started. I've absolutely loved making these videos. That sounded like I was finishing. I'm not stopping making them. I've absolutely loved making the last 100. And this is not a major celebration. Like, this video isn't kind of a look back or anything, because the 2-year anniversary video will be the 104th one, obviously. And I'll do, you know, a proper, like, Plot 37 vlog is 2 years old on that day. But this felt like I needed to celebrate it. A whole 100. Entering an extra digit is it's worth celebrating, isn't it? And I think I celebrated it very well with the Hori Hori. I was so impressed with that, because I've started quite a while ago. I started, instead of at the end of the season or whatever, pulling the whole vegetable out and taking all the roots with it and everything, just cutting it off. And that Hori Hori, the reason that I wanted that one as opposed to the mild steel one, I wanted the one with the serrated edge, was because I want to just be able to cut my veg off and like as little disturbance in the soil as possible. And it worked beautifully on that fennel. I can tell you, it was just like gliding through. And last year I was in there with the secateurs and everything trying to get through them. So they're quite tough roots, and cut through them like butter. So I'm incredibly pleased about having a Hori Hori. Can you tell? Can you tell? Hori apparently means dig in Japanese. So but when I say dig, like Hori Hori, it makes me think of now, what was his name? It's like Diggity Diggity. Is it from like Quagmire in in Family Guy? That's what it makes me think of. So I'm not gonna call it that. But yeah, I'm incredibly pleased. So on to next week. Next week's going to be a huge week. Obviously, we're in March. I never said that last week. I never said, oh, it's March, you know, all that, because I didn't have this like roundup at the end. But yeah, it is now March. I am shocked. I had a bit of a meltdown earlier. I was like looking at my to-do list and it's a mile long and there's still things on there from February. So I was thinking, oh yeah, go away at the end of February, it'll all be fine, not doing much then, and then March you can crack on. And now it's like a week into March, still got things on the February list, haven't done this, haven't done that. When I went away, I left a couple of things for Mum to sew. I was like Cavallero and basil, parsley, like a couple of bits and pieces like that. And I left her a note and we spoke about it and it was that. And then when I got back, I realised what I'd done is I'd taken, bad communication, I'd taken them out of the seed drawers, piled them up on my desk, and Mum had come in, looked for them in the seed drawers and thought we didn't have any seed from them. So I've got to sow those this week. I'm going to do a video like I did last month of what I'm planning to sow this month. It's quite a lot of stuff, but the major one is tomatoes. And next week's vlog, we're going to be sowing tomatoes. I'm excited. I've got so many new varieties to try this year. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with them all, but I'm really keen to try them. There's some in there that I've been looking for absolutely ages. And yeah, it's just really exciting. Really exciting. I can't wait to smell that smell of the tomato leaves. You know, when you start potting them up and it just smells so good. I'm really looking forward to that. And next week, there's also going to be some familiar faces around because we have an event to go to. But yeah, it should be quite a good week. So I'm going to do that video again, like I did last month, of what I'm planning to sow in the month. That'll be the March one. So it won't be in a Tuesday vlog. It'll be like an extra. Not sure when that's going to come out yet, but it should be earlier in the month. Sorry, I sound like somebody's punched me in the face. I feel a bit like it. I've got that cold I thought I was getting has finally hit. So I've got a really annoying voice. Sorry about that. I sound really nasally. Not good. So on the subject of Hori Horis, how many of you use one? Just out of interest. Because I hadn't actually heard of them, or I'd seen them, like I knew what they looked like, but I didn't know they were called a Hori Hori until it would have been about 3 or 4 years ago maybe. A company from Sweden approached me and was like, we're starting this new company and we want to, we're making these knives. Do you want one? In the end, that never worked out, but that was the first time I really heard about them and realised what they were. And then ever since that point, that company's been like, keeps coming back to me saying, oh yeah, we're still making them, we're still making them. Obviously it's not going to happen. But it kind of put them into my consciousness, and then I've been looking at them ever since. And I've asked you before about which ones you thought was best. I had a lot of recommendations for Japito tools. I had a look at them, but I knew that Niwaki had opened a showroom in London, and I've got to say, every single show I go to, like Chelsea Flower Show or even Hampton Court Flower Show, any of that kind of stuff. Oh, sorry, that is a problem with having your phone as your camera. Johanna is calling me. Sorry if you're vibrating. We'll just wait for that to pass. There we go. I'll call her back in a minute. But yeah, so every show I ever go to, you just go to the Niwaki stand and just stand there. Like I could stand there all day looking at their beautiful things, particularly like the little knives, the secateurs, the clippers. They do also do kitchen knives. Oh, just gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous. Anyway, have you used a Hori Hori forever? Let me know. I'll be interested. Hori Hori Appreciation Society underneath. All right, chaps, on that note, it is March. Spring is approaching. I can feel it. It's nearly here. I'm way behind on everything. So we've got a mad couple of weeks heading our way of me just going into panic mode and trying to get everything done in a flash. I've got to do a plot tour as well because loads of stuff has changed over the last couple of weeks. In the polytunnel has really grown. I mean, it's amazing. One of the benefits of going away for a week is you come back and you're like, whoa, stuff has grown. And when you've been here for the whole week, you look at it going, nothing's moving, nothing's growing, you know. So there is a benefit. There is definitely a benefit to that. Anyway, I am rambling on. Huge thank you to everybody who has been watching for the last 100 vlogs, or even if this is the first vlog you've watched. Thank you. Like I say, if I'd known at the beginning that I would be doing 100 Tuesdays in a row, no break, I would have been like, whoa, not doing that. But I've absolutely loved it and really, really enjoyed it. And I've met so many fantastic people out there. You know who you are. My life has completely been changed by this. I've said this before, like this was not something I ever envisaged myself doing. But there we go. It's all swings and roundabouts, and planning isn't my thing. So I'm going to say a massive cheers to every single one of you. Thank you so much. I will see you for vlog 101 next week.
Of everything in of that with. Ik geef me veel te maken. Waar is waar? Aan mijn